This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses.
So I wanted to just do a bit of a follow-up, take these out of my ears, on this because I feel like it's just worth talking about. I had basically given up on FRFR monitors in general because I felt like the ones that do a really good job tend to be really expensive, or quite expensive, and some of them tend to be quite big, quite heavy, and then some of the other ones tend to need a little bit of sort of caressing to get the sound how you want them. So things like the Line 6 Power Cab, Line 6 sent me one a couple of years back, and I did mess around with that for a while and had pretty good results, but my presets changed to accommodate the FRFR speaker, and I used to run it in basically raw mode and all of this stuff. It took time to get the speaker working, essentially. What I see is the biggest problem with modelling, personally from my point of view, and what I see a lot of people online, is that once they get to a rehearsal or a gig, all of the things that they've done in the studio with their near-field monitors tend to not really work, and they plug it into their FRFR speaker, or plug it into anything, and it sounds just awful, basically. At volume, things just don't seem to work particularly well. That's what I think Fender have really solved with the Fr12, because basically everything I've plugged into it has immediately sounded, as I expected, like good and more or less like an amp in the room, which is exactly what I've been looking for in an FRFR solution. So far I've tried the HX Stomp into it, I've tried the Friedman IRX, I've tried the Fr12 FM3 into it, and that sounded really, really, really good too. So everything seems to just play with it nicely. The only issue that I've found people talking about online is this hiss thing, and they're saying there's a hiss that happened with the amp. I don't know if you'd be able to hear this. It basically just sounds like the thing is on. It's not really speaking level or anything like that. Nothing that you're going to hear at a gig, unless that changes at different units, but my one particularly, it's kind of like a whisper level hiss. It's not a thing that's a problem. I'll try and show you with a close-up camera and that as well now.
So if we're really quiet, you can possibly hear the hiss, but I think something like a computer fan might be louder. And if I turn down the cut, the hiss is reduced. And hiss doesn't increase as you turn up the volume. So it's like a constant thing, but really just sounds like an amplifier being on to me. With that cut, to me, that's probably quieter than an actual amp. Quieter than my computer over there, computer fan and all that stuff. So I don't think the hiss is an issue.
It seems to be pretty well built. It weighs about 13 kilograms or 28 pounds, something like that. So not heavy, about the weight of a normal 1x12 cab. So that's good news as well. The EQ on it is really handy. That cut is useful for getting the tweeter in or out of play. For me, what I found in the past is that FR speakers with a tweeter, generally I was finding like I want that tweeter out of the situation. On this, I'm running the cut just at halfway and it's sounding good. So yeah, I wanted to kind of follow up on it because basically it's everything that I hoped an FR speaker would be, and up till now I've not necessarily found them. Things that are shaped like a guitar cab, built like a guitar cab, that sound good with your modeler. That's a good thing from me. I bought this with my own money. I think the Fender Tone Master Pro, I've done videos on and had some thoughts on that. The Fender Tone Master FR, I have some very different thoughts on. I do think that there was a bit of a gap in the market for something like this, to be honest, because for me, some of the other stuff didn't really hit the mark. Even the Kemper cabinet, which is proprietary and should be sort of plug and play, was pretty close to it, but I didn't have as much success with even that sounding like an amp in the room as this does. So I'm very happy with that and happy to report that that's the case. That hiss is, I think, a non-issue for me. The only other thing that I would say is, like the power cab, a little bit dependent on you sending hotter signals to it. So if you can change your unit to be like line level, you'll probably get way louder things. For a 1000-watt unit, I was expecting possibly it to be a bit louder. I think it would handle things pretty well, gig level, but you might want to change the outputs on your modeler to be at line level to really be able to kick out some super loud volumes with it. But I will report back on it once I get to gig the thing. But yeah, it's absolutely been the top of the FR kind of experience for me. I think the only other one that I've not had enough hands-on experience with, David Beebe's a huge fan of the Laney LFR stuff, and we're also seeing people like Guthrie using them live now, and I know Rob from Jamiroquai uses one as well, or two even, but those are quite a lot heavier and a little bit of a more, I don't know, are they a traditional cab approach as well? Maybe fairly, but those are a little bit heavier, and yeah, I've not got direct experience playing through one of those, so I can't comment on it. I think those are quite fairly priced as well. So the Fender Tone Master, great price, great build, great sound, plug and play, and it's sounded really good with everything that I've thrown at it so far. All good. Here's some more playing. I'm using the HX Stomp for this. In the intro I was using the Spank lead preset for the lead stuff, and the JC3508 or something like that rhythm tone, which is like an 80s rhythm tone. And then for the outro here, I was using the Eric Lead preset. Thanks for stopping by. Let me know your thoughts on the Fender Tone Master. Light enough, I guess, as well, that you could grab two and gig them if you're a stereo kind of person. And it has a XLR input combi jack thing, and you've got an output with an XLR as well. If you wanted to do that straight to house, front of house, it's kind of, they nailed it. Simple, gets the job done, and the EQ on it is ideal. And it's even got these little legs. Oof, nearly knocked that off. Cheers.